the team that keeps you as ready for winter as we are. It's why America doesn't trust winter coverage to anyone else.
Currently in our area, 60 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy, slight chance of a rain shower. Low 51. Winds light and variable. Thursday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 58. Winds light and variable. Thursday night, showers. Low 41. Winds light and variable. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Flooding ongoing now as a life-threatening powerful storm pushes into California and other areas of the West. Roads here in Elk Grove already underwater, and with more than a foot more of rain, things will get even worse over the next few days. Flood watches in effect here and up and down the California, not just the coast, but inland areas as well. And we're concerned about places like San Francisco. You're under that flood watch as well. Half a foot of rain not out of the question here as we head through the overnight. I think one big band already moved through. The wind, another big threat here. Power outages continue to grow tonight. And south into the LA area, wind also one of the big threats as we head through the overnight. Wind not a problem right now, but it will start to pick up, and flooding is a concern for much of California as well, particularly in burn areas where the water can run off and bring a lot of mud and debris with it. And here's a unique view of this storm, the winds that it's creating. Again, the swirl, if you will, just off the California coast. I'm going to draw on here. Here is the west coast of the United States, and there's our big low pressure area with all the wind, of course, rotating around it as the storm slowly works its way toward the coast. So let's go over to Carl now with a look at the storm pushing in on the radar. Carl?
Yeah, we've got a lot going on right now, Jeff, that is for sure. And we're going to see such a stormy period for such a long period of time. That's one of the things that really has us worried about all this weather. I want to take a look at what is called the precipitable water. And so this is a large scale view here. We're looking at a hemispheric scale of the moisture that is driving in from tropical locations and coming into the west coast. And so here is a big moisture feed right there. That's called an atmospheric river. That's what's coming in right now, and with that we're getting flash flooding. We've got a very intense area of low pressure, so a lot of strong wind, plenty of trees coming down as well. Power outages are growing by the hour, but there's so much more of this on the way over the next several days. We'll take this forward day by day, and you notice here, going into the end of the week, another big surge comes in, another big surge early next week, another big surge after that, and yet another one going into Friday and Saturday, 114. So 10 days of just non-stop storms coming through and coming into the west coast. And here's another way of looking at that, a closer up view here of these storms moving through. Here's the next one moving in Friday and Saturday, next one coming in Sunday, next one coming in Monday, Tuesday, and then the next one coming in Wednesday. And as I mentioned, there's one even after that. So what this means is, over this long period of time, we could be looking at some threat for extreme flooding in northern and central California in particular, because we will have had so much rain already. The ground is saturated, and we've got so much more on the way. Now, currently, we're looking at this big arc of rain that's moving into central California and up into the Central Valley there. We've got a flash flood warning that is ongoing for Monterey County because of the Dolan and Colorado burn areas. That until midnight tonight. Also, a much smaller flash flood warning for a possible dam breach here. Apparently, the spillway of the dam that is east of Hollister is now compromised, and we could be looking at overtopping. At least the rain has let up for now. now, but there are plenty more in the way of showers coming in, and then, as I mentioned, many more storms on the way here as well. Things thinning out in terms of rainfall in the Bay Area, but the wind continues at this hour, especially at elevation. You notice in those red areas there, that's mostly the elevated coastal ranges, and then farther inland into the Central Valley, that's where we've got winds gusting between 30 and 40 and maybe as high as 50 miles per hour at times. And the result of that has been widespread tree damage, trees coming down across interstates in some cases. Just been a really tough night here in Central California. Jeff, over to you.
All right, let's talk a little bit about those power outages, which we've seen steadily increase, at least the number of customers that have been without power. We're now up to almost 175,000 customers here, and most of that clustered along the central and parts of the Northern California coast. And makes sense because that's where the highest winds have been reported as well. As Carl was showing us again, there's the center of the storm sitting just off the coast here, kind of tilting, if you will. This is what we call a negative tilt. There's some dry air wrapping around the south side of it. That's the darker shading here on this water vapor imagery. But that atmospheric river that Carl was mentioning again, wrapping around the south side and pushing up from the due south. It's not coming in from the west, so to speak. The moisture actually is coming up from the south. Here you can see it on the radar. Another interesting point, it's so unstable out here in the middle of the Pacific, just south of the center of the storm, that there's lightning showing up out here as well. Eventually, some of that may rotate in. We're really not seeing any lightning with the rain that's moving in. It's just heavy rain, and of course now starting to get into the Sierra Nevada, at least the northern Sierra, and some of the northern ranges here in Northern California getting some of that snow as well. Here's some of the bigger towns and cities. Winds gust Truckee up to near 50 miles an hour. San Francisco near 40. I know one of the airports there at Sacramento around 46 miles an hour. No surprise at all that we're getting all these storm reports right along the coast and even some inland areas because of the strong winds. A lot of trees being knocked down and snapped. And look at that, Cape Town, a wind 94 miles an hour. And I mentioned earlier, Cape Ray's out at the lighthouse. Wind estimated there just under 100 miles an hour. So more damage, more power outages likely as we head through the overnight hours tonight.